Welcome back to Epicurean Artistry. I'm Sabrina, and today we're going to explore acrylic painting with this luscious red pepper tutorial. If you're a beginner or just looking to sharpen your skills, you've come to the right place. I'll show you how to use sighting, basic color theory, color mixing, layering, and dry brush technique. Let's start by gathering our materials. I'm using a 20 by 20 centimeter canvas, a palette knife and a paper palette, spray bottle, jar of water, pencil and a rag, a large flat, a medium round sable, a small round sable, and a small hole here for dry brush. Now for the colors: ultramarine blue, primary yellow, cadmium red, and titanium white. All these materials are listed in the description below. Let's start with the background color. I'm mixing a green with two of my primaries, blue and about a pea size of yellow. Add a tiny bit of white just to lighten it. Once you're happy with your green, grab your large flat and add one layer to your canvas. Don't forget to add paint to the sides. To stop your paints from drying out, give them a little spray with your water bottle. Allow that layer to dry for about 5 minutes or until the paint's not tacky anymore. Then add your second layer of green. Now's a good time to change your water. You can use a handheld fan to help dry that layer. Now for the drawing. We're going to use sighting. So take your pencil and compare the width and the height of your pepper. With those measurements, you want to mark out the height and width of your pepper. Check these measurements a couple of times until you're happy with the size. Start by drawing the outline of the pepper. Add some structural lines and shapes to the inside of the pepper. This is going to help you to map out when you're painting it later. Remember, at this stage we just want the basic shapes. We don't want any detail because we'll just paint right over it. Before we start color mixing, I just want to talk to you about complementary colors. They're colors that are opposite on the color wheel, and when they're placed next to each other, they intensify each other. I chose green for our background because our pepper is red. Let's start color mixing. Start with some red, and to that we're going to darken it just slightly and add some green. You want to compare it to your picture to see if the color is right. If it's not close enough, just adjust it accordingly. Now mix up an orange, starting with red. Add a pea size of yellow and a touch of white just to lighten it slightly. Check it against your visual aid and adjust it accordingly. Make some red tints. Start with some white and add a tiny bit of red. Split that and add some more white. Mix some green tints by taking white and added a tiny bit of green. Take some green and this time add some white and a little bit of yellow. Take a bit of that green and add some more white, just to lighten it. Make a dark red. Start with a bit of green and add some red. Add a touch of blue to make it even darker. And that should be all the colors we need for now. Let's get on with the painting. Grab your medium round Sable brush and add your medium red tones to your pepper. If you're finding it difficult to see where the medium tones are, a helpful tip would be to look at your visual aid and squint your eyes. This will allow you to see the extreme lights and extreme darks, and everything in between would be the medium tones. When working with acrylics, we start from the darkest tone and work our way to the light. Here we're going to add the darker tone of the red to the light flesh area. We'll later use a dry brush to create a bit of depth. The top area of the pepper is slightly lighter than the bottom, so I'm going to reflect that by adding a bit of white into my darker color and just add it onto the pepper in those areas. Add some cadmium red to the outer part of the skin. You can clean any mistakes with a clean, damp brush, as long as the paint is still wet. For your stem, add your medium green. Add your lighter green tint and blend the edges. Sometimes in painting, you have to vary your mixes and then compare them to your visual aid. In this case, I've taken my lighter green and I've added a tiny bit more yellow to it. Blend your greens with your red tints we mixed earlier. Now clean your brushes and let that layer dry. Spray your paint to keep it wet. Once your paint is dry, you're going to add your lighter red tints to your pepper. When blending the paint on the pepper, be sure that both colors are wet. If your colors aren't blending, that means that they're too dry. You'll need to add both colors again and keep blending. Add another layer of greens to the stem. And add some reds to the center of the pepper. Paint in some suggestions of seeds. A helpful tip: as acrylic paint dries, it gets one shade darker. So throughout your painting, you might need to adjust your colors and add more layers. You want to let that layer dry before you start dry brushing. Grab your hog hair brush and dip it into your darkest red tint. Tap it on the side of your palette and then start dabbing it up and down in a stamping motion onto your canvas. Keep adding this texture to the fleshy part of the center. Be sure to clean up any areas that go on the smooth texture of the center of the pepper. Eventually, start adding the lighter tint with the dry brush. This may take several layers until it looks more opaque. Once you're happy with the texture, grab your round medium brush and use the two red light tints to create detail. Use the tip of your brush to get finer lines. Mix up a darker red tint to make the transition between the outer skin and the inner skin a bit smoother. Continue adding detail with the tip of your brush, including seeds. And refine any areas that need refining. Add some pure yellow to the seeds to make them pop against that dark red background. I'm mixing up some more green to adjust the background color. I'm making it slightly darker than it is now. Feel free to do this to your own canvas. You might want to make it lighter. You can leave it how it is or mix up some green tints to add some expressive marks in the background. This creates a bit of visual interest. And there you have it, a simple yet luscious red pepper painting. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and learning something new. Don't forget to subscribe for more art tutorials and check out our other videos for more painting tips. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.